Hey everyone, Ethan here from Mitten Equipment. We sell used tractors and attachments in Rockford, Michigan. So if you're in the area and you're looking, please check out our website or contact us if you're looking for something in specific. This is just some video of me doing some brush hogging with this Kubota B2601 tractor that we have for sale currently. Depending on when you're seeing the video, it's likely not going to be for sale. This has 130 hours, a little over that now on the tractor, so it's all pretty much like new, under warranty until about this time next year. So it's not really that very old of a tractor. It hasn't seen a lot of use in its life yet, but I'm taking a chance to do some brush hogging for my neighbor with this 5-foot brush hog. This is the largest tractor that I have purchased and owned and have for sale at this point in time. All of my experiences purely with Kubota BX tractors and the John Deere 1 Series tractors, so being just one step above a subcompact, this is quite an upgrade. I think for a lot of people this is a really ideal size of tractor because you're going to get quite a few benefits of just going to the next size up of a subcompact, at least in my opinion. You're going to get a much larger tire size, which it is going to make, everything has a downside. So if you're working on a tractor a lot, which I don't suspect very many people are, these tires are going to be a lot heavier, especially the rears filled with beet juice. But with the larger tire size, you're going to get an increase in ground clearance, which is very nice when you're doing tractor related work. It's not like you're really getting into situations where you're bottoming out the tractor a lot, but you get more surface contact on the ground for your loader work when you need to push into a pile. And I think having the larger tire size is a lot nicer because all the suspension that you get in a tractor is really just the ability of the tire to flex over ground. So as I mentioned, I'm doing some brush hogging for my neighbor. He has this Connex box out here that he stores his tractor in, but he does not have a brush hog at the property, and he lives a little ways away, I think at least over an hour drive out to his property. So I don't really mind doing this stuff. These little tractors this tractor's only 25.5 horsepower. Any of the small tractors that are naturally aspirated really are not going to use very much fuel, so it's not like it costs me anything to be out here, assuming I don't break anything, which I know this has been farm ground for quite a while, so there's no real hidden obstacles that I shouldn't be able to see. This was supposed to be planted as a hay field, and it was, but the hay never really took on, so the material is really not very thick and heavy. It's more so just tall and kind of stocky. So it's not really producing a lot of load on this tractor. A 60-inch brush hog is probably the ideal size for this tractor. 4-foot would work as well, but I think a 60-inch, or I don't know if anyone makes a 54, but that would also be a good size of brush hog for this specific horsepower rating of tractor. The larger frame size allows the tractor to handle the weight a lot better. There's a lot of subcompact tractors that are rated this 25 horsepower range, so they should be able to run a brush hog just as well, but my concern with that is mostly the weight of the brush hog. Because of how far a brush hog hangs back, it puts a lot of leverage on the tractor, and it's just a lot of weight to have bouncing around back there. So you might see that even when I'm not mowing with the brush hog, I still keep the tail wheel on the ground so that it doesn't create that kind of rocking momentum that you get when you're going over bumps with the tractor and you have the brush hog in the air. So that's why I would stick to a 4-foot cutter on a subcompact tractor. You could run a larger flail mower with hammer teeth just because the flail mower is going to be a lot closer mounted to a tractor. So this has been my first brush hog I've really had the chance to use too, so it's been kind of fun to get to play with all these different options, and I really have been enjoying the larger frame size of Kubota tractor. I don't think I mentioned it yet, but the motor that is inside of this B2601, I believe it is the same motor as you would find inside of a Kubota BX. The Kubota BX runs the motor in kind of a non-traditional orientation, where the cooling fan, the mechanical cooling fan on the motor, is facing backwards, so it's pulling air in from where you sit at the operator's station, whereas that same exact motor is mounted in a traditional manner in this B2601 or a B2301, where the cooling fan is in the front of the tractor. That's a good thing. You know, Kubota's using similar parts across different models is going to make sure that you have parts access for quite a long time. Here you can get a better idea of what we're mowing. It's pretty stocky, but if you can see about 10 feet, 15 feet in front of the tractor, that's where the hay that they planted did take. I'm not really sure what kind of mixture that is, but it's really thick up here, so I slow down quite a bit. It's just a lot thicker material. But anyways, the motors are exactly the same, at least on the outside that I can find. You know, they have different exhaust on them and the intake is different, but when you're looking at them, the oil filter screws on in the same place. If you note the orientation of the motor, and of course they do take the same exact amount of oil. They both take 3.3 quarts. The engine oil pan is different though on this. The B2601 has two drain plugs because the four-wheel drive shaft runs down the middle of it. That's pretty common for once you get into these larger tractors. I don't like the fuel fill on the hood. That's really inconvenient. It's not so bad if you have the loader off of the tractor, but with the loader on, it's really just inconvenient. There's no other way for me to really put it. I especially like, if you're gonna stick to a Kubota tractor, I especially like this B series and larger tractor is gonna have an actual hydraulic oil cooler in front of the radiator. The problem with BX tractors is that they do not have a hydraulic oil cooler. The only hydraulic oil cooling that's happening is the notorious cheap plastic fan that they have back by the rear axle, which is very susceptible to having fan blades broken off by sticks, and I have replaced one before. It's not the worst job in the world, but it's definitely something that I dread and definitely something that I check when inspecting tractors, because it does take quite a bit of time to get down to it. Some people will replace them from the bottom of the tractor, but I would just prefer to do it from the top side. It's much easier that way, even if you do have to remove some panels. So having the hydraulic oil cooler is a big benefit. Of course, this larger B01 series tractor on the loader has the skid steer quick attach, which you can get on a BX80, B23S model Kubota. And that skid steer quick attach found on the new BX tractors can be retrofitted onto the older loaders in most cases, but you have to weld onto the bucket, so not necessarily the easiest conversion. But the skid steer quick attach is going to make it a lot easier to get attachments for the loader, especially pallet forks. That's pretty much one of the only options that I could think of. Of course, grapples and other accessories that are going to require a third function would be nice to have, but pretty much any of that stuff you're going to be into like a $3,000 price point if you're including the cost to adding a third function. So I have not gotten to try any of that stuff yet, and I don't know how soon I will. But a final point that I do like about the Kubota tractors and having the full frame is that you're going to get the 3-point hitch arms attached to the chassis, the frame of the tractor, instead of being in a cast rear end like you'll find on John Deere tractors. I'll probably cover this in more depth in another video when I can actually be out there filming with the audio at the same time as video. So we're all done cutting now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you don't like the commentary, you can always just mute the video because there is no audio with the drone anyways. But please check out the website, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, and like and comment the video. It helps with the algorithm. Anyways, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.